This tutorial is part 1 of 2 that explains how to complete the Visual DEM check in QA for LiDAR. After the sample selection has been set, the visual check screen appears. It consists of a table of contents on the left, menu panels at the top and bottom, and a map window. The DEM mosaic is displayed in the table of contents and map window using bilinear interpolation for display. QA for LiDAR zooms to the first tile to be checked, which is outlined with a black square and divided into quadrants. It also displays a portion of the surrounding tiles so that boundary issues and cross-tile errors can be identified. The other tiles are outlined with a grey border. There is a refresh button at the top left to refresh the visual check screen in case it slows down or freezes. If you zoom to layer, i.e. out to the extent of the data, the DEM won't display. There are a number of ways to navigate through the tiles. The previous and next buttons in the menu panel at the bottom can be used, or the shortcut keys for these, which are F and G respectively. Alternatively, clicking Mark as checked will move you to the next tile, or the shortcut key for this, which is spacebar. The shortcut keys can be found in the Help menu. It is also possible to click on part of one of the visible surrounding tiles to move to that tile, or use the arrow keys to navigate to the surrounding tiles. Scrolling the mouse wheel zooms in and out to change the scale. There are also zoom buttons which allow fixed zoom in, fixed zoom out, and fit to tile. When checking tiles using the previous, next, and mark as checked forms of navigation, QA for LiDAR will step you through the sample. If the manual forms of navigation are used, i.e. clicking on the surrounding tile or using the arrows, the user may navigate off the sample. However, if the user returns to the sample form of navigation, they will be taken back to checking the sample they selected. If the user selected sample tiles on the visual checks screen manually, then the navigation is in order of the tile selection. If you are reviewing someone else's visual checks, the buttons Next Error and Clear Errors are useful. The Next Error button will take you to the next error that was previously marked by someone so that you can check if the markup is correct. If it is not correct, you can use the Clear Errors button to clear the error in a particular quadrant or all errors in that tile. The DEM symbology can be changed using the Color Ramp button. When clicked, a symbology panel appears on the right-hand side from which the user can select from a range of standard symbology, including elevation symbology. There is a toggle box at the top to stretch to display extent. So that greater color variation can be seen in the tile. It is also possible to set no data color at the bottom of this panel. You may wish to set this to a contrasting color to the symbology so that areas of no data can be easily identified. The chosen symbology is retained as part of the user settings profile so that when the user navigates away from and back to the visual checks, their setting remains. Error markup for DEM tiles is broken into 3 parts: location or tile quadrant, error type, which is relative vertical accuracy, classification, interpolation, systematic, follow-up or other, and error size, small, medium or large. These attributes help identify the errors later on when referring to the tile index. To check each DEM tile for errors, examine the tile, and if an error is found, right-click in the quadrant containing the error, or use the shortcut keys 1, 2, 3, 4 which apply to the quadrant. The quadrant will be highlighted red, and an error dialog will appear. The error dialog can be repositioned as required, and escape key used to exit it. To mark the errors, select the appropriate error type and size using the mouse or shortcut keys QWERTY for the errors and ASD for the sizes. Then select Save. Errors can be removed by selecting Cancel or Escape while the dialog is open, or later by using the Clear Errors button. Multiple error types can be recorded against a tile and/or quadrant, although currently only one size of error per quadrant. When finished checking a tile, click Mark as Checked, or use the spacebar key, which will change the tile boundary to green to signify that the tile has been checked, and it will move you to the next tile in the sample. For tiles that have already been checked with a green boundary, I go to the previous, you can also click Mark as Unchecked or use the spacebar key, which will turn the boundary back to black from green, but it will not remove the errors or move you to the next tile. So the errors are written to the output tile index shapefile upon generation of the QA report. So you can see Mark as Unchecked. Thank you for watching this tutorial. For part B, refer to the QA for LiDAR YouTube channel.